Hey everyone, how's y'all doing? It's Bacon Strips. Welcome back. And sorry for the whole sound thing on the last one. I played it back and I realized I wasn't hearing any of the in-game sounds, so hopefully that's fixed now. I guess a throwback to all the times that I played zombies completely silent. Sometimes I would have music playing in the background, sometimes I would just play it silently. It is what it is. Yeah, Weevil. Nice. So the PS4 has been out for a while now, and the PS5 is apparently coming this holiday season, whatever that means, because we haven't heard any news on it. And I was just thinking, like, do we need PS5? First off, little caveat, I guess. I will not be getting the PS5 when it launches. I have way too many games on the PS4 to play before I even think about getting any new console. I know the PS5 will apparently be able to play some of the PS4 games, but I mean, I just have too much stuff to bring to you guys. I mean, this is Black Ops 3 that I'm playing, you know? But, I mean, we're not even close to the amount of content that I want to bring to the channel, so, yeah, but, anyway, I mean, not looking at me, because I feel like I'm in an extreme case. Like, I'm not into playing the new games as soon as they come out. I'm more of the wait until they're like 20 bucks and then get them. That being said, we do have a couple of new games coming out for the PS4 in the near future, or relative near future, I guess. And with how 2020 go, I mean, the future is not really something you can count on. Who knows if we're even going to be around next month. I guess the first game is Ghost of Tsushima, and I mean, the reason I'm bringing this all up is because I saw the Ghost of Tsushima gameplay sort of presentation, which was, you know, actual gameplay. That's not trying to drag anybody out there. Microsoft, I don't want to say too many things to get too many people mad. Anyway, Ghost of Tsushima is a great looking samurai game. If you haven't seen the gameplay for it, like, check it out, especially if you're a samurai fan. It's coming out July 17th. That's next month from when this video will be put out. And that game looks absolutely amazing. It looks super fun. It looks super large. It looks like it would take a long time to complete. The next game, one of my personal favorites, The Last of Us Part 2, will be coming out on June the 19th. So we got July, June. What else? We got August. Nothing's coming out in August, really. Sorry to all you August games that are so concerned about, you know, actually getting something done. Yeah, I know. Yeah, nothing's coming out in August. Nothing important, really. Last of Us Part 2, really looking forward to that. It is the sequel to The Last of Us, which I really enjoyed. I feel like it is a must-play if you own a PS3 or a PS4, because they released the remastered version for the PS4. It's one of my, like, top games of all time. Easily top 10. Might be top 5. I don't know. I haven't looked at my list of that in a while. But we have Ghost of Tsushima, samurai game. We have The Last of Us Part 2, which is sort of like a post-apocalyptic plants take over kind of, or zombies, not plants. Plant zombies take over most of the world. And then the next game coming out in September is Cyberpunk 2077. This is a game by the developers known as CD Projekt Red, who are responsible for the Witcher series. And if you don't play video games and that sounded familiar, yeah, because they put the Witcher series on Netflix, based off the games, which is based off the books, which is based off of some traumatizing event in somebody's life, I'm sure. So they're coming out with Cyberpunk 2077, which is kind of like future sci-fi kind of game. Sci-fi GTA. There we go. Let's go with that. But all these games are coming out in the very near future for the current generation of consoles. And they're all kind of large. Like Ghost of Tsushima seems to be a RPG kind of focus, which usually takes a long time to complete. The Last of Us Part 2, I mean, that's probably going to be more linear, more story-centric, but still large. I mean, it's probably going to be larger than the original game. And then Cyberpunk is an RPG as well. So we've got lots of highly anticipated games coming for the current generation of consoles. Now, we know already that Cyberpunk is going to release for the next generation as well, for the next generation of consoles, but, I mean, I'm sure these other two will as well, like Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2, but there's no guarantee. And, I mean, really, do we need, like, a PS5 right now? Like, yes, it's the next step, but looking at Ghost of Tsushima and how pretty it was, I'm like, Also, the fact that the PS5 is going to be expensive. I mean, this is not another game we're talking about, another $60 game. This is a whole $300, $400, $500 console with production being affected by this whole disease thing going around. Sony is approaching this in one of two ways. They're either going to ramp up the price or not make a whole lot of PS5s, at least immediately. You know, they might do both. I mean, I don't know. It's Sony. I don't really know Sony like that, so I don't know Sony at all, really. The PS5 is going to be expensive, and you're not just going to get a PS5 with nothing. You're going to get a PS5 with, you know, games on the PS5, and I mean, as of right now, we don't know anything that will launch with the PS5 because we don't know any details on it. I'm sure Sony's right around the corner of releasing some stuff on it. And when they do, we'll all go crazy. We need good launch games. We need a launch game that would make you want to shell out the $60 for the game, of course, but also the $400 to $500 for the actual console. Which, I mean, I don't think many games can do that. Definitely no new games. I mean, I think the only games that would be possible are, like, sequels. And there's only a couple sequels that I personally have in mind, especially when talking about PlayStation. Spider-Man, the sequel to Spider-Man for the PS4. Spider-Man on the PS4 is, you know, noted as one of the best superhero games made. I don't know, I haven't played it. And then there's God of War. That was competing with Red Dead Redemption 2 for Game of the Year back in 2018. And that's got to get a sequel. They kind of set up the game for a sequel if you play the game. You know, I don't want to spoil anything, and I'll probably put a playthrough up on here at some point in the very, very far future. That game's coming out at some point, I'm sure, on the PS5, but I don't know if that'll be a launch game, you know? That's something that needs to be worked out, I'm sure, with Sony and Santa Monica Studios. And then we have Guerrilla Games with Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Now that game is reportedly in the works. I don't know if it's going to be ready for a launch on the PS5. I do have the game. I haven't touched it. I do plan to at some point. I heard many good things, but as always, I'll be the judge of that. And then there's whatever COD's doing, because, you know, they put out a game every year. They haven't learned any better. Consumers have not taught them any better. That's a whole nother argument entirely. But that being said, I mean, COD is coming out this year. I don't know which console it's going to release for, you know, with the next generation coming out in the November. I mean, they're probably going to do a, hey, we have this game for this current generation and for next generation. And that's the make more money kind of route that I'm sure Activision will go through. So there's that. I mean, at the end of the day, it all depends on the games. It all depends on what games launch, because I feel like if the PS5 does not have the games to launch with, I mean, people aren't going to shell out $400 to $500 for their console to just sit on their table, staring at them in the face, asking them, you know, like, feed me games, feed me games. Please come with the good stuff, Sony. I am, again, not getting the PS5 at launch, no matter what happens, right? But I mean, if something really good happens, then I'll consider it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think that we need the PS5 right now? Or are we fine with the PS4 for, I mean, at least another several months? Like, my other thing, too, is, like, people aren't just made of money. People can't just go out and afford to buy, you know, all three of these games. Like, they're releasing, like, a month apart. Like, Ghost of Tsushima's next month. Last of Us Part 2 is the month after, and then Cyberpunk is in September. I personally would like to play all of these games. But the average casual gamer, I mean, they're not playing 3 games in the span of 4 months, on top of whatever they have now. I mean, back in the day when I got games and, you know, actually played them, that's another story in itself. I would get a game maybe, like, once every 6 months. And, I mean, for this, it just wouldn't work, because, like, I have all these games that I want to play before I even think about getting a new console. So, I mean, for the average gamer, it's like, oh, these 3 main games that are highly anticipated, you know, they would want to play each of those before they even think about getting the next generation of console. And it's like, if they don't have a reason to, then, you know, so you're just sitting waiting to buy each of the games for this generation, while the next generation is just sitting out. So I'm sure Sony has something up their sleeves. I'm sure they've considered this, considering they gave the green light for all these games to release. So It's all a matter on their hands. Like, hey, what do we have coming out? What can we show the people to get some interest in this console so that, you know, everything can go well. I believe in Sony. They haven't let us down so far. At least I don't think. They haven't let me down, so that's good. Have they let you down? Let me know that. Has Sony let you down? Have they really had you in their arms and just dropped you on your head? Don't let me know that. I don't want to be responsible for that information. Anyway, I will see you all on the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, more zombie killing on the next video. Deuces.